What's up, Fumble fam? I'm Brooke.
And I'm Noelle, and you're listening to Girls Don't Fumble, the #1 sports podcast for NFL Girl Talk.
We sift through all the football news so you don't have to.
Let's get into it.
Harrison Butker, the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, is absolutely under fire after a viral graduation speech has taken the world by storm.
Ooh, tell us about it.
It is absolutely insane. So he gave a commencement speech at the Catholic Liberal Arts School Benedictine College in Kansas. And instead of maybe congratulating the students on a job well done the last 4 years and talking to them about how excited they should be for all the opportunities they have ahead, he instead took it upon himself to really just drive into that graduating class his personal values, which really didn't leave anything out. He talked about women and their bodies. He talked about the LGBTQ and other minority communities. He touched on IVF, COVID, our president, you name it. He really said, I'll just talk about everything that's on my mind, nothing to do with the school or the graduates or anything. It's insane.
What is this political rally that he just started at this commencement speech? Like, what is going on? Time and place, bro. Like, come on.
It is absolutely wild. Like, at first, when I was just reading into this and seeing the headlines and reading some of the blurbs, I was like, this sounds crazy. Let me watch the speech for myself. It's somehow so much worse when you actually listen to him say it and dead serious deliver this just manifesto to a room full of young people who just thought that they were maybe gonna walk across the stage, collect their diploma, and go celebrate with their families.
Totally. And I mean, there was maybe 4 lines of him actually saying, like, congratulations for your graduating and spending money in 4 years, maybe more. I'm sure some of them were graduates as well, so they probably spent over 4 years at this school, and their time obviously is important there, and everybody is looking forward to this moment in their life. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the time to have just a full manifesto on all of your opinions and your values. Maybe some words of wisdom for the graduating class.
Perhaps some words of wisdom. It's literally giving men will pour their diary into a commencement speech rather than go to therapy. Like, he'll literally do anything but talk about his feelings in therapy. And this speech is leaving a lot of people, I feel like women in particular, absolutely outraged at some of the claims he was making. And it sparked a lot of conversation online for something that was, just given to a graduating class. This has gone absolutely viral. So we'll get into all of it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I would like to use the word attack to many different groups. So I think the first one that we're going to talk about impacted us directly.
Yeah, it was a direct shot fired at us. At us as working women, not married, no kids. No value,
they like
apparently.
To say, as they like to call modern workers, modern women.
Modern women. God forbid. Okay, so we'll just read off a couple of quotes for those of you who maybe haven't watched the speech. Jealous of you. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Don't waste 20 minutes.
20 minutes, even 2x speed. I was like, I can't. It's so much. Okay, so we picked out some of our, I was going to say favorite, but some notable lines from the speech.
Yep.
So he goes, I want to speak directly to you because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. So that's one. And then a few moments later, he was talking about his wife, Isabel, and then he ended up saying that she embraced one of the most important titles of all, which is a homemaker.
Homemaker.
It was so icky.
Of all words to use.
Yes.
And the fact that he was just pointed at women is what bothers me personally. I mean, this is really what I think sparked the internet and everybody's attention on this speech. And of course, there were so many other lines that we'll get into, but this one particularly caused an outrage amongst the women. Because of course, like, there are so many paths that women can take to truly be fulfilled in life, whether that be being a mom, having a career, being a mom with a career. There's so many different paths that you can take. And in this particular moment at your graduation speech, to kind of to kind of, it almost seemed like he was shitting on the people that just wasted 4 years. Like all of that time that you took studying in the library, studying for all those exams, throw that all away. Because what really matters is you being a wife and you being a vessel for my children or for your husband's children. And again, that's fine, but it was poor judgment on his part to say that at a graduation speech.
Exactly. No, he's literally looking all the women in the face and saying, hey, I want to talk to you guys. I know you think that you're going to go get jobs and get promotions, but if I might just step in and tell you how to live your life, you should actually have spent the last 4 years looking for a husband. If you didn't, you are not going to be fulfilled in this world.
Yeah.
Your whole job is to get married and have children. And once you do get married and have the children, how about you just go ahead and step aside, stay at home, get everything ready for your man, and let him have a wonderful, successful, blossoming career that, it wouldn't have been possible without you women at home. So thank you so much for sacrificing your own goals and dreams and everything you want to be.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about homemaker?
What about that? Does that ring a bell?
And again, like we're saying, like women can do anything. I think it's the problem that why did he take time out of his graduation speech to call out the women directly and then knock them down quite a bit after they spent all this time studying, getting their degrees. And he's like, I don't think you should have jobs.
Actually,
that's going to take away from the men in the workplace.
But why though? It doesn't make sense. His whole tone in that is like, hey, let the men lead and you just be at home and you cook Eggos and eggs and sausage and bacon for me and the kiddos. How about that?
How about that? Hey, pretty lady, how about you just go set the table and you let the men do all the talking?
Yeah, exactly. No thoughts, just food, please, on the table.
No thoughts, just babies. I like how you said vessels. I feel like that is what he truly thinks that like he did something there with that speech. Like he looked back and he's like, damn, like I ate that shit up. Like I was right. Like I nailed it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the women want to be doing.
And multiple times I feel like you and I talked about like the pause for laughs or the pause for like the impact. Like you can tell he like had these moments prepared for. And I do think that it was one of those speeches where you didn't want to X-speed it because you can notice the pauses way more in the actual like full time that it took. But it was interesting to say the least.
It was just the last thing I would ever expect to hear as a graduating student. I mean, even though people are saying like, it was his audience, it was a Catholic school. Like I went to a religious college. It wasn't Catholic, but Church of Christ feels like, I don't know how they rank. I know Catholic is very intense. Like no one ever talked to the women like that. Like that's not normal. That's not par for the course of a religious school. Like they still believe in women getting college degrees and careers. Like obviously like a lot of people do go on to become wives and mothers and have jobs and do it all. And don't stop bossing us around. Someone kicks footballs for a living. Like grow up.
Yeah. And especially the fact that he said like, a lot of mothers and everybody who has a family, I bet that everybody does say that children is their most important like part of their life. Whether you have a career or not, everyone's going to say that. Like, of course, everyone has that thought, but that doesn't mean that I have to stay home to do that. Yeah. Doesn't mean I have to stay home to have that feeling, Yeah. It was interesting for sure. But I mean, it does seem like there are some very powerful women in his circle, aren't there?
That's the crazy thing too. And that is, through this speech going viral and the internet sleuths doing what they do, we've uncovered that his mom, Elizabeth Butker, is a medical physicist who got her master's degree from Georgia Tech and has worked at Emory University in the Department of Radiation Oncology. Lots of words that sound really impressive. Oncology, cancer, don't know about radiation. Since 1988. For longer than he's been alive, she has been working as a medical physicist. Yeah. And he's like, women don't have value in careers in the workforce. How about all the work that your mom has been doing for cancer? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's no good for you?
Yeah. So you're saying that your mom shouldn't have done that and she shouldn't have chose that career path, or should have just stayed at home with you?
Should have stayed at home and actually should not have been fulfilled and contributed to the university as a literal physicist.
Yeah. I think everybody's family is different, right? Everybody's everybody's not portfolio, but like the way a family
tree?
No, not family tree, but like every family is different.
Yeah.
You know, some are stay-at-home moms, some are stay-at-home dads, some both have careers, maybe just one has a career. I just feel like he was like throwing shots. And meanwhile, your mom has been an accomplished medical physicist since before you were born. Like, it was shocking that he has all these opinions about it. And maybe we don't know enough about like what she has to say about it, but like it was shocking to see this news.
Exactly, because it's like you think someone with such intense beliefs, they must have grown up like seeing this as an example. Or in the speech, he does talk about, of course, his wife and how she, took on his religion. She converted to Catholicism and she has given up. He said she gave up her dreams of a career and she stays home and raises the kids. And like, of course, he says that she's happy about it.
Yeah.
But, of course, never in the speech does he talk about his mom who, was a mom and had this insane career and still does and still is working in it beyond the kids moving out, which I mean just kind of shows the power in that too, like how passionate she was.
Yeah.
She hasn't spoken out from it. I know a lot of people online, of course, have found this out about her, and not that his dad doesn't have a great job, but I don't think his dad's job is as good as this. So now there's speculation that maybe growing up in the home, his dad maybe resented the mom and maybe kind of expressed that a little bit and maybe
now
built these feelings of hate.
Yeah, generational like trauma. And now he kind of upholds the same opinions. That totally could be true.
Yeah.
Whether it's like conscious or not.
Exactly.
Like little maybe comments made throughout his life.
You're like, oh, your mom's always working late. And then like maybe he sees like his friends' moms are the ones who are like staying at home and like, and are being the homemakers and they seem happy. And he's probably thinking like, why isn't my mom like that? So I think what we're sniffing out here is some mommy issues.
Mommy issues for sure.
Big time.
I mean, again, this is all speculation. So he could have had like a really nice life growing up. But these are all, this is evidence to support our claims.
Evidence to support
None
our
of this
claims.
is true, though.
I mean, it's true that his mom is a renowned medical physicist.
Yes.
And that his dad, I think, works at a bank. So
speculation.
One could make some conclusions based on those pieces of information. But
yeah, 100%.
We'll leave you guys to what you think.
Yeah. Take with that what you will.
Exactly.
And not only was his mom really accomplished, but we also found out that his sister, Charlotte Butker, was also very accomplished in the medical field. Not only did she graduate from Emory University, she was also an athlete in the soccer program while she was there. Once she graduated from Emory University, she went on to graduate school to Weill Cornell Medicine, and now she's a practicing OBGYN physician's assistant in labor and delivery at the New York Presbyterian Hospital for Women and Newborns. So, I mean, the fact that his own sister is like so supportive of women and has a career that is devoted to delivering newborn babies. It doesn't really make sense to me. And I also would love to hear what her point of view of all of this is. And if she has maybe taken the same path into her faith, just as it's what I would say is it as intense as Harrison Butker's. But again, we also don't know what her point of view is. But I mean, two completely accomplished women that he's been surrounded by all of his life only proves our point through just a little bit more, that maybe he is just a little insecure in all of these successful women around him. Who knows?
Yeah, when his mom and his sister are literally doctors and his job is kicking
a football around,
just kicking things. It's giving insecurity. It's giving maybe his ego's a little bruised. Obviously, he's very well to do. He's as much as it hurts to say, he's a really good kicker and obviously
Super
one
Bowl
of the best
champion.
Best teams in the league. So it's not like he's poor. Obviously, because then his wife couldn't stay home and raise the kids because that's another thing where people don't just have the luxury of only one parent working and being able to support two people plus a child, maybe multiple children on one salary. It's also just recognize your privilege.
That's a privilege and a
Privilege
whole,
check.
a whole ass luxury in this economy in 2024 in America. That is very hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Sorry that you literally kick a ball 5 months out of the year and make over $3 million in your contract. Like, not all of us have that opportunity. So
Yeah.
great for you. Great if you're able to do that. We're not saying you shouldn't, but don't tell other people how to live their lives.
Yeah. Period.
Bitch.
That's on facts.
And these, so we don't know like what his mom and his sister are thinking about it. We don't know what they're, they haven't released any statements. Again, it's all just speculation.
Yep.
But who has released statements, and this is so funny and cute to me, and I just love this. The Benedictine Sisters of Mount St. Scholastica, which are the nuns that are a really big part, like a founding group of the college that he spoke at, have released a statement on Facebook talking about their feelings, completely denouncing his whole speech.
Oh my gosh. That's when you know it's bad. When the nuns are coming for you, you better act right.
When you're talking about, these values, and even the nuns are like, we do not claim him. Like, please, this isn't us. Like, the nuns are inclusive. The nuns love you. The nuns want the women to succeed.
Yeah. I feel like it would be one thing if they were showing his their full support in him. But the fact that they kind of took a stand is also like boss move on their part, because
I love it.
Obviously this is like a very controversial topic, and this is their own school that he got asked to speak at. So I almost would have thought that they would be in support of him, but it is great to show that like there is a little bit of a fine line that he crossed that wasn't what they teach at that school and not what their values that they're like trying to uphold in all of the in all the students there. So I thought that was pretty dope of them.
I know. I think that like there's no other group that really could speak out on this better than the Catholic nuns.
Yeah.
And like have us be like, okay, like, if they're saying that this speech isn't great, I think we can all collectively be like, yeah, maybe this isn't the best.
Yeah.
But just they released a very long statement on Facebook, super well written. I was like, mad respect for these sisters.
Get it, sister.
Get it, sisters. Go off, sisters. Just some quotes from their statement. They said, our community has taught women and men how to be good homemakers. So again, not just singling out the women. We're not just speaking to the girls. Obviously, having a nice home to have a family and children is a great value to have.
Yeah.
Men can also take part in that too. Don't just put that on women.
Yes, it's an equal partnership.
Exactly. And they also said, just very clearly, we reject a narrow definition of what it means to be Catholic. They also went on to talk about how instead of, promoting unity and inclusion, his comments and his speech really fostered division in their community. And they also said that the women that they have at the college not only have made a difference in the world, as wives and mothers, but also through leadership, scholastic, the careers that they hold, or not scholastic, scholarship, scholastic book fair. Maybe I need to go back and further my education.
Scholastic achievements. I got what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, they did that too.
Yeah.
Scholastic scholarship achievements. But I really like that they did this because it's like the nuns are for the girls. They're girls at the end of the day. And they said, hey, we got to say something.
And I'm so happy that they did. I'm honestly like, props to them, because I'm sure that took a lot. And I love that it was posted on Facebook too.
Yeah, it's so sweet. They're like, we got to get this out to everyone. It's going on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cute. I was, happy for them. I was like, should I follow them on Facebook? Not me being their new fan.
We support the nuns.
Yeah, we're a podcast for the nuns.
For the nuns only. And on the flip side of that, not only did we have, the sisters kind of speak out saying that he was a little bit wrong in these certain areas, but on the flip side, we have the Kansas City Chiefs owner's wife. Her name is Tavia Hunt. She spoke out in support of Harrison Butker, which is interesting. She had a full Instagram post, and it's one of those long ones where it's like, oh, do I really want to read all of this?
It's not for Instagram.
And she had a bunch of photos of her and her daughter and her family. And then what I found interesting was the last two photos were like stats on why married people are the most happy, which questionable. Are they?
Questionable, but also like stop acting like you're on this high horse because you're married. A lot of people don't meet their person till later in life, or marriages don't work out. It doesn't mean that people are any less of a person because they're not married. And it's not like, stop trying to throw your happy marriage into people's faces. It's like very tone deaf and gross.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also,
and
are they the happiest?
Who knows? Who knows? I feel like they'd be one of those families that like would keep any kind of drama hush hush. Like, we're perfect, and I'm a stay at home mom, and like we're just so happy here. Yeah. And again, stay at home moms, props to you. But they're in the public eye, so I mean, of course they're gonna keep something.
They're gonna say everything's happy. And also, like, when I was looking up like just all the TikToks on Harrison Butker, an ex Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader was talking about how they all have to go through like PR training when they join the Chiefs organization.
I saw
about
that.
how like you're representing something much bigger than yourself. Like, you are not just speaking as yourself anymore. You're speaking of this organization. So obviously the owners would believe that more than anybody, and so that they're not going to come out and be like, yeah, sometimes I fucking hate my husband. Like,
she would never.
We are a beautiful family, and we are happier than everyone in the country.
Exactly. I did love that TikTok about like, we all went through the same PR training, didn't we? Like, if you forgot, here's a few things.
Exactly.
But yeah, she went on Instagram and she just kind of highlights how affirming motherhood and like praising your wife, basically the dedication it takes to be a mother, shouldn't be viewed as bigoted. And she's like saying this in support of Harrison. And again, I don't think anybody is denying that. Like, of course we should be praising our family, and obviously being a mom is a whole ass job.
Yeah.
But and she kind of goes on to say, I don't think that you should take some things out of context. Like, you should watch the whole speech. I got all the context.
Yeah, we got nothing
from
but context.
The little snippets to the 20-minute speech. That wasn't a commencement speech. That was a political rally speech. Okay, I that's what I took away from that.
Like, he needed more context of where he was. Like, he needed to read the room. No, exactly. She tried to make it seem like if people hadn't watched the speech, that all of these like reactions online are like, I just taken out of context. All he was saying is that it's really rewarding to be a mother and have a great family. Like, he did probably say those things, but in the context of women should stay home and women shouldn't work. Yeah. And there was no context that we missed. I've watched that speech twice. Yeah. There's nothing that you can't take that any other way.
And we were talking about this earlier, like maybe if you didn't point it out to the women and just say like, hey, one of the things that I've taken away since I've graduated from college is that family means the most to me. Yeah. And like my kids mean everything, and my wife. But if it was just phrased a little differently, I don't think that the internet and women everywhere would have such a problem with this. But it was a little bit too pointed,
Exactly. Like, if you had stood up there and said, I'm so excited for you guys. You have so many opportunities ahead of you. I know you have careers. You're going to grow up. You're going to start families. Like, I'm so blessed to do what I do and be like, play for the Chiefs. But I love my wife, my kids so much. That's what means the most to me. And I'm excited. I hope that you guys like can find that too. Like, that wouldn't be going viral. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
He even gave another graduation speech a year prior, and I think had maybe some softer like tones of that.
Yeah.
Now it's getting picked back up, and people are focusing on I forget the exact quote that he said, but it was just like, congratulations, now you guys can all go out there and get married and have kids, start a family. So that's always been his POV. I think this speech, just more than anything, which really just he went ham. He is not scared to say, hey, actually, women, this part's just for you. If you're a man, keep doing your thing, bro. Lead this country. Lead this country. Lean into being a manly man. But women, hey, you need to get home.
Get back in the kitchen.
Exactly. Like, there's no way to take that out of context. It is truly exactly what he said. And yeah, it's no one's sitting here and being like, oh, women shouldn't have to be mothers. Like, moms love being moms, hopefully, most of them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, everything about that was not great. And we'll get to some of the other quotes as well.
Exactly.
Should we get to how the internet reacted? I think this has been my favorite part so far.
Yeah, let's talk about the internet. Yes. No, it's absolutely going off. It's so funny. If you go to any, like, not only is, like, if you search his name on TikTok, it's so many people talking about it. You go on Twitter, it's trending. You go on the Chiefs Instagram account, every single comment is so funny. Like, okay, we picked out some that are our favorite. It'll just be like the Chiefs posting their schedule, like just trying to like just move on as an organization without making any sort of statement on this. And then it'll be like, yeah, like, you know, get excited, like Chiefs Kingdom, like, let's go. Here's our home games. And then girls will comment, are we allowed to watch the game? I haven't asked my husband if I could. I don't know.
Or I hope I can see the TV from the kitchen.
One of my favorite ones too was, sorry, I can't watch. I'll miss my fertile window.
Not the fertile window.
Like, girl, I'm period tracking. I gotta get in my fertile window. I gotta start popping babies out. I don't have time to watch the game.
I'm ovulating.
I'm ovulating or I'm on the clock.
Husband, get in here right now. Oh my gosh. And the last one that I'll share is, I'm confused. Does my life begin at conception or when I get married and have a child? Oh,
but when am I a person? Maybe for men it begins at conception, but women it actually doesn't begin until you're married with a child.
Yeah,
or it begins, but your purpose is nothing. Mm-hmm. Your life
you're
is
just
meaningless.
existing.
Yeah,
yeah,
love that. So yeah, people are going off on the internet. It's actually very funny. That's one of the things that, like, truly anything that happens that's not, like, you know, horribly tragic and terrible is that, like, something like this where it's just like people just have way too much fun.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love when we all have like an inside joke as a country and as women.
In solidarity together.
Exactly. So that's all crazy. And not only have like people been taking it to social media, people have also started a change.org petition calling the Kansas City Chiefs to basically fire Harrison Butker. And as of today, it has over 220,000 signatures of people
insane.
That are like, we want him gone. So
that's wild.
It's kind of like the Swiftie effect too. It's like the Swifties have gotten hold of it and they're like, we have numbers. We're an army. We will get these signatures.
When you quote our queen, best believe we're coming after you, bro.
Best believe we're not going to miss. And we'll get into that in a bit too.
Yeah. And on some other ways that the internet has kind of like reacted to all of this, not only have we seen a petition going around, but on the flip side, we've seen his jersey sales almost sell out everywhere.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
That's what's really scary. I think I've read a few news outlets who said that he's one of the top 3 jersey sales on the Chiefs website. Mm-hmm. There's obviously Pat Mahomes, there's Travis Kelce, and he's probably in the top 1 to 2 at the moment. I know that we were also talking about the fact that, like, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce numbers, like the inventory that they have is already probably so much higher than what a fucking kicker has. But I mean, it is crazy that there's so much happening with this one story and like very opposing actions.
Yeah, there's
jersey
more
sales and a petition to get him fired.
Exactly. It's like it's business is booming and then also people are boycotting and it's like, great, there's more men and women who believe in him and are trying to support him. So that's perhaps the scarier part. And again, the Chiefs haven't come out with any sort of statement. It was just the Chiefs owner's wife. And the NFL did, though, release a statement. Their chief diversity officer, Jonathan Bean is his name, I believe in an interview said of Harrison Butker, his views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. So they very much were like, please distance us from this man.
Yeah.
They know that a lot of their audience is women. They also know that there's, you know, some more conservative viewpoints in their audience. But I did appreciate this from the NFL because, again, a lot of organizations and people have not made any sort of formal comment about it. And the NFL, I mean, obviously so committed to like diversity and ending racism and, you know, like supporting their female fans. I think they were like, let's say something to make sure people know we're not thinking the same.
Right. And it seems like in this instance, they definitely talked to a PR person, but like as they should. And they said like a very even keel statement, like nothing that was too emotionally charged one way or the other. It was right in the middle, as they should be, as an organization that is as big as they are, representing like the whole gamut of like America. Like there's so many different viewpoints. Of course, like they needed to say something, so I'm glad that they did. But we still have not heard a peep from the Chiefs.
I know, it's really interesting.
Except for the wife, but
Yeah, I'm really curious. I feel like at this point, I don't know when they're going to say anything. A team that we did hear from, though, my Kings, the Chargers.
Love.
And like they, you guys are probably thinking, why would the Chargers say anything about this? They're not involved at all. But the Chargers, of course, are the best social media team that we've ever seen in the NFL.
Really good.
And they posted a absolutely hilarious Sims themed scheduled release video. So for context, if you guys haven't seen it, all of the NFL teams will release a just like a funny, most of the times funny videos. A lot of the times it's like, what is this? Was the humor in the room with us when you made this?
Where's the plot?
Yeah, you've lost the plot completely. But they all make social media videos announcing the schedule. They do it in a really fun way. It gets fans excited. It's a big moment for them in the off season. So in the Chargers Sims themed video, they included something at the end, which was Harrison Butker in Sims form, and they made him into a homemaker. So they had him kind of scrubbing the counters, arranging flowers, putting a pie in the oven, and it was just so funny and so quick. Like they released it like the day after all of this went viral.
Yeah,
and it's so. This is what I like about it is like making sure that we all know the Chargers are like fuck this guy, but like doing it in a funny way. Like that's. I love them so much.
Yeah, they did such a good job with it, and it was like perfect timing because not only was there the schedule releases, but the commencement speech was like probably that weekend before. So they were quick with it. That content team, they went to work. They were working in overtime.
They made a Sims character.
They made a Sims character. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they were just playing the game and they actually just like. I wonder how the illustrations and the animations were made, but
I know. I think they actually they released like sort of a video on it today, and they
like
had to
behind the scenes.
Yeah, they actually had to make full like communities in Sims, like so insane. Like they fully like people are
That's
just playing
kind of
fun. I know they went all out for it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's like by far the most trending release video.
Yeah.
So we love to see it. And then there was also the Patrick Mahomes interview that has been going around, which isn't something that he did in response to this, but I believe this was an interview that took place after the Super Bowl. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and I don't know what the leading question was because I couldn't find the actual interview, but just the clip of like maybe asking him how much he talks to Harrison Butker.
Yeah.
And he was basically like, well, once that season ends, we don't talk all off season. I'll see him again once the season starts. And they're like, wait, what? Like, you don't talk to your kicker? Like, not even a little bit? Like, what happens if you're together, like, sitting in the lunchroom? And he's like, yeah, we will sit together in the lunchroom. We won't speak any words to each other. Like, it's all business. Like, he's not my teammate. He's my coworker kind of energy.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the time, I didn't see this clip. I didn't think anything of it. Now, of course, it's aged very well as people are like, oh,
everything's coming back to turn its head.
Yeah,
it's making sense.
It's all making sense.
Yeah.
And then, I think this was one of the comments was maybe pointing out how obviously they have, very different viewpoints. And, Isabel Butker is at home being with the kids, and Brittany's living her best life at all the games, going out to dinners with Taylor, like on the cover of Sports Illustrated, like investing in the local soccer team. Like she is absolutely killing it, doing so much, being a philanthropist, being a mom, being a model, being a Swiftie who's friends with Taylor and supporting her husband and her family all at the same time. Like, and this is completely a Brittany Mahomes stan podcast, of course.
Yeah. I feel like it's two completely different worlds. Like, obviously we know that his wife is at home being a stay-at-home mom. And as you mentioned, like, Brittany has been so accomplished, like in her own way. And it's interesting. It's interesting. And I wonder if they don't have a relationship because they know that they're so different, or if it's truly because like it's football and they're on completely different teams and like maybe they just never talk to each other. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but I do wonder like how much it sways. From one aspect of like them just having different lives, or it's just like, oh, he's not really on my team, so
you're not on his like
inner circle.
Like offense is a team, special teams, defense teams. But just in case the fumblers were confused.
Kicker, quarterback.
They're not in the same the meeting rooms. I think that he probably would know about his views, just because I feel like in that community of people that know Chiefs fans, they know that he's really outspoken about his viewpoints.
100%. I mean, outside of some of how the internet has reacted. Like, we've seen some really great collabs of his commencement speech with some funny songs, funny choice of songs.
We sure have. And one that is going absolutely viral is the collab of, it starts off with Harrison Butker. I would like to speak directly to you women. And then immediately comes in the song Short Dick Man. And it's just so perfect. Like, the person who did this, you are so smart. You are so funny. You absolutely nailed it. And the song is a bop. Like, Pete should DJ and play that song like in every party that he goes to all summer long.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we obviously weren't big fans of the speech, but why am I dancing to it all of a sudden?
Yeah. Why do I want him to suddenly address us when it's to the tune of Short Dick Man?
Yep. Oh my gosh. Not only that, but I love that like there's a lot of comments with Taylor Swift's new song, like the smallest man that ever lived.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
the music references are too good. They're infinite.
She released that song just in time.
For him. It's
just
like
for the
she
Swifties.
knew.
Yeah.
It's like she knew it was going to happen.
She gave him a little like, here, you guys are going to need this in your back pocket. Put this on TikTok. Use this when you're talking about Harrison Butker and other small men.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And while Harrison Butker was probably an example of what not to do at a commencement speech, I want to say sometime last year, Kylie Kelsey, some videos of her commencement speech at her alma mater has been circulating.
Yeah.
She spoke at Cabrini University, which again is her alma mater, and she gave the typical route, which is like, what's next? Like, what's on the other side of this door? And what she did was, I think, the right approach when you're addressing college graduates. And that was to encourage them to, stay true to themselves and not give up on who they are. And I took a quote and she said, one of the most obvious forms of beauty in society is being unique. What a boring world it would be if you and your classmates sitting to either side of you thought exactly the same way, enjoyed exactly the same things, and partook in exactly the same activities. So she's just saying, like, be you. Like,
do whatever you want.
Yes. Be you.
Kylie Kelsey continues to be a queen. Of course, she nailed that graduation speech. And it's like, hot take, encourage the graduates. Congratulate them. Tell them they can do anything with their lives because they truly can.
Yeah.
Don't put them in a box. Don't tell the women what to do. I love Kylie Kelsey. See, hire her. What this man needs to stop getting gigs. Like,
he's done 2 and he should have done 0.
He should have
at this point.
Absolutely just stick to kicking. And of course, everyone's like making the joke, like, kicking is unfortunately the only position on the team that you can't blame like CTE on. Like, he's not getting hit in the head. He, wears a helmet when he goes out there, but for no reason. Like, it's just embarrassing. Like, it actually kind of is. Like, I think like kickers have to wear all the like guards and pads and the helmet, and no one's touching you. You walk up, you do a little soft jog, you use your little foot and you kick a ball through the post, and no one does anything, and then you walk off the field.
Yeah, probably the easiest position on the whole team.
Yeah, no,
you
truly.
play for what, under 20 seconds?
Yeah,
a game.
Exactly. It's just football is such a fun sport. That's the most boring part of it.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. I saw this funny post and it was like the women who could do Harrison Butker's job just as good, if not better. And it was like a bunch of U.S. Soccer team females.
Honestly.
And like, it's like, yeah, I'm sure they could and they would kill it.
Exactly. I think this is the kicker for the Cowboys, that he was a soccer player and never played professional football. And then he for some reason decided that he wanted to switch from he was working in soccer, and then he was in finance, and then he was late 20s maybe, and was like, maybe I should try kicking a football around, and he was able to do it. And then I think just last year he joined the team and he was really good. So it just kind of goes to show that it doesn't require any formal training.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to take a spot,
maybe we should train this summer and apply for his job.
Girls Don't Fumble. Girls kick footballs.
Yeah.
No, we'll work on it. That wasn't
we'll
it.
workshop it.
We'll workshop it. And so the talking about women, obviously that's what, attacked us the most as childless, husbandless women with jobs. Really, we're not doing anything right, I guess. So embarrassing. But that wasn't the only group that he attacked. Another thing that he said was, speaking out against the LGBTQ plus community. And I quote, said, People like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride. Of course, that's what we meant. That is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him. And then he paused for laughs.
He paused for laughs.
So
hard.
Like, he really wrote that in as a joke.
Yeah.
Not the deadly sin sort of pride. Oh, the deadly sin? That
I'm
was a
sorry.
whole month dedicated to it?
Yeah.
What? That's a crazy thing to say at a graduation.
And the funny thing is about all of this is that there has been so many rumors that have come out literally about him saying that he had a relationship with a male cheerleader back at Georgia Tech. So, and this would kind of make sense that he like went so ham on this group because he's like, I cannot let anybody think that this was my past.
No. And this is actually the best thing to come out of this whole situation, because you know that as someone who is so homophobic as he is, the last thing that he wants is rumors circulating that he literally hooked up with a man in college. Like, that has got to be his worst nightmare. And it kind of makes all of this like anti-woman talk worth it.
Yeah.
If that, you know, people out there are speculating that he's gay, like, you know,
the comments are wild.
That must bother him so much. Like, before this, we were on his Instagram and every single post, people are like, gay. And that's just beautiful.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think of this one like TikTok trend. This guy goes around to malls and he says, "Whoever moves first is gay." and he always does it to guys, and like they'll laugh and they'll be like, and then they'll literally pause for the longest time.
So stressed.
If this was Harrison, he'd stay there all night.
Oh,
he can't.
I'm not gay.
Yeah, no,
It's a
not
deadly
me.
sin. I don't know about pride. It's not that deadly sin. Like, crazy. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love kicking footballs for a living. I don't love men. Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the rumors were really great to see here.
It's so good. Yeah, like you said, it's always the ones who are defending it or going against it most that are the ones that have the most to hide. It's like,
Yeah.
take it easy, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Chill out.
Oh my gosh. And not only did he attack so many other groups, he attacked a particular very popular woman.
Yeah, and this is where it goes too far.
This is where it goes too far. She is not only the biggest pop star in the world, billionaire, super successful. Wonder why he used her and attacked her.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. I think we know. But something that was pointed directly in his commencement speech, he says, "This undue familiarity will prove to be problematic every time because, as my teammate's girlfriend says, familiarity breeds contempt."
Attack him, Swifties. Get him.
And what's crazy is he got like a lot of laughter in the crowd.
Yeah.
I guess it was like a little bit of cheers, right? Like people were cheering him on.
Because it's like anything Taylor Swift adjacent. I mean, think about the content that's gone on in this speech so far. It's like anti, birth control, anti-IVF, anti-women, anti-gays, anti-diversity, anti-inclusion. And finally he like says, "My teammate's girlfriend," and quotes Taylor Swift. Of course we're cheering. Like, please get us out of here. What is this crazy man talking about? And of course, what a lot of people are pointing out is the fact that it would be much too far of him to actually say Taylor Swift and call her by her name in the speech, because if women don't get an identity anymore.
Yeah.
She's simply his teammate's girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's, of everything that Taylor Swift has accomplished, self-made billionaire, biggest artist in the world. Oh, no. Did you hear she's dating Travis Kelce? That's all she is to him.
No, that's it. Just the guy that probably makes significantly less than she does.
Like her cat, like people have said, like her cat has such a high net worth. It's worth more than Travis Kelce. And of course the stupid buttlicker kicker on the Chiefs. And so that was just obviously disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was funny, like that thing specifically when I was reading through like some of the TikTok comments, and there are of course, the comments that are supporting it. And there was a woman that goes, "This is such a beautiful speech. Very well said. I think you could have said Taylor Swift's name instead of teammate's girlfriend, but everything else was wonderful."
Oh my gosh.
It was like, okay, but that was where we went
the
too
one
far.
thing.
Yeah, everything else completely fine. But the fact that you didn't use Taylor Swift's name, like, that is the one thing that all of America can agree on. You should put some respect on Taylor's name.
Do you think that if Taylor and Travis were married, then he would have said Taylor?
No, because I think even just like if she's a wife, she's still, that's all. My teammate's wife.
Yeah.
He would have more respect for her though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
that's true.
Ew, she's just a girlfriend.
Yeah. She's unmarried.
Oh my God.
No kids.
Unmarried, no kids at 34. Like, oh my God. I'm surprised that he even gives her the time of day.
Yeah.
Because that is the biggest sin of all.
Your life is over.
So that's the crazy thing. And then the song that he's quoting, being Bejeweled, is so ironic. It just shows that he just has no self-awareness, because the song is literally about a woman getting annoyed at this horrible, mediocre man that she has to put up with and that she's been prioritizing, and he just like keeps like, you know, coming up short. And so she decides to just like get rid of him and return to just prioritizing herself. And she's sparkling and shining and she's lighting up a room, and it's all about throwing out those lame ass men and shining as the star that you are. And I think he would be absolutely repulsed to know that that was the message of the song that he was quoting.
He should have looked into it a little bit more. Yeah. Like, obviously he doesn't realize that in every single Taylor Swift song, as fun and bubbly as it sounds, like there is actually huge meaning to them. Mm-hmm. So I would love to put the lyrics and the reasoning of this song in front of him and see if he would have maybe changed up his speech a little bit by quoting Miss Taylor, because that was a miss on his part.
That was a big miss, and I just don't think that he would. It doesn't click in his brain that women can put together songs that have a deeper meaning. I don't think.
Yeah,
he's just like, why? Like, she just is like looking pretty and singing, and her song's catchy.
Yeah, and it's just my teammate's girlfriend.
Just my teammate's girlfriend at the end of the day. Exactly. It's not Taylor Swift.
That's it.
And then another thing in the whole Taylor Swift of it all that has now been like circulating is, so she, when Taylor was on the field after the AFC championship, like, you know, that's the viral moment where she's hugging Travis and congratulating him. Like, I love those photos so much. They both look so cute. She also is kind of mixing and mingling with some of the Chiefs players. One of the people that she was talking to was Harrison Butker. Unfortunately, you know, she probably was like, yuck. But he talks about meeting her either in this moment or maybe it was another moment before this, and he, like, the interview was asking, like, you know, how was it meeting Taylor? And I think he says, like, you know, it's awesome, she's really humble, and she never really grew up watching football, so when she met me as a kicker, she really thought it was amazing how far I could kick the ball through like the pole, what do you call it, the uprights. And when I was watching this, I was like, wait, what did he just say?
She's proud of me. Wow.
Yeah. The way that he said it, I wish, like, it sounds so much worse coming out of his mouth, but he literally was like, the interview was bringing up like how amazing Taylor Swift is. And he's like, yeah, Taylor's just amazed at like how far I could kick the ball. Like,
yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
8 years old?
Like, it was such an embarrassing quote. Like, I was like, I had to pause the video and just like sit in my thoughts for a second. Cause I was like, he did not just say that.
Yeah,
yeah. So weird.
I wonder if maybe, and this is going back to his mom, and not to like talk badly about his mom, but again, just speculating. Mm-hmm. I wonder if his mom was like always really hard on him and like never gave him positive reinforcement, and she always like saw him as like a disappointment because he didn't want to go into medicine like his sister. And so whenever he does get that kind of positive reinforcement from a female, he's like, wow, who, me? Really? Because I kicked the ball?
You know, that I wonder, like, I would love to have actually heard that conversation between him and Taylor. Like, you know, she probably knows about his views and she knows that she's against it. And Travis seems like, you know, like a king that obviously is really supportive of women and is not afraid of, like, you know, his ego getting in the way. Like, he seems like he is so secure dating like the biggest star in the world. And so she probably knew what she was getting into when she was meeting him. And, you know, like, I could picture her being like a little bit sarcastic, but like he's not picking up on it. And she's not meaning for him to pick up on it. But, you know, she's probably has an inside joke with herself being like, wow, it's so amazing how you can kick the ball so far. Like, maybe he's like, Taylor, like, I love your music. And she's like, and you kick the ball so far and you make it. Like, that's so cool. And he probably was like,
so good for you.
Oh my God, Taylor noticed what I did. Like, and
totally.
Then he's later quoting that in an interview. It's so embarrassing.
I know. He's like, read what she was actually trying to say there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm sure she was so nice about it, but yeah, that's a tough one. And that is something that, you know, this in isolation would have gotten a lot of people talking. It would have gotten a lot of the Chiefs fans who are Swifties talking because they're invested in the whole team. But the fact that this incredibly hateful speech has ties to a Taylor Swift lyric, you messed with the wrong fan base. Like,
sure
those
did.
Swifties are not going to sleep until, you know, all hell rains loose on this Catholic man. Sorry, I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, but
Yeah, no, they're coming full force. The Taylor Swift army.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. There's all these jokes on TikTok that are like Tree Payne, her publicist, like Tree Payne on her way to go buy the Chiefs and make this all disappear.
Oh man, we love to see it though. I mean, when you're that outspoken about such like heated viewpoints, then like you have to be ready for the aftermath, and that's exactly what happened.
That's what he's getting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're so open to share your opinions at a commencement speech and call out specific people in our society, groups of people, like, of course you better see it coming.
Yeah.
And actually, I do give him this. He hasn't like turned off his comments on
That's
his
actually
Instagram.
crazy to me. All the comments that are like, gay, definitely gay. Like, I'm a woman, I can't watch your content. Like,
he totally is just like leaning into it. And like, I'm sure at this point, a lot of people would probably turn off their comments at this point.
Yeah.
And like, no right or wrong answer. Like, if it like hurts you, then definitely turn them off, because the internet is not kind, especially in moments like this. But yeah, he's sticking to his guns.
I wonder
which is
if
crazy.
he doesn't want to be like emasculated by the comments.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, it wouldn't be manly of me to turn them off. Like,
Yeah.
manly of me to protect my own mental health after the consequences of my own actions.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. These comments don't hurt me. I'm going to go to war. Like, I'm going to go kick some things.
I'm gonna go kick some balls.
I'm going to kick some balls. These comments mean nothing to me. He's probably crying at home. Like,
His
so
wife is petting his
confused.
head.
Yeah, literally. Oh God. So insane. But no, exactly. It's like, if he's saying all of these hateful comments towards all of these groups, it's completely valid that people are speaking their minds right back to him.
Yeah.
You got your opinions? Here's our opinion about you, buddy.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what he gets.
That's what he gets. And, you know, we would be, you know, absolutely remiss if we did not talk about the comments he made about women's bodies. Because, again, nothing was off the table in this speech.
Absolutely
So
not.
just to end it off, let's just remind everyone what he did say about, you know, not only women's roles in the home and in relationships and what their, you know, vocations for life are, but what should we be doing with our bodies? All right. So he says, the bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy. What's wrong with surrogacy? I mean, what's wrong with any of this? But like, I didn't realize that was something that they were against too. Euthanasia, as well as a growing support for the degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from pervasiveness of disorder. And he also says, but let's be honest, there is nothing good about playing God with having children, whether it's your ideal number or the perfect time to conceive. No matter how you spin it, there is nothing natural about Catholic birth control.
I mean, he called out so many things in this, and it's hard to
What?
unpack it all. And again, like I'm not super familiar with like his direct faith in Catholicism, because it does seem like he has a very specific, I think it's like traditional Latin mass is the form. IVF surrogacy, I don't know what their viewpoints are on that, but I don't think that it's fair, because there are so many people who have like fertility problems
Exactly.
that like that literally is their only option. So like that's a little hurtful for sure.
That's what I don't understand at all. If your whole argument is that women should be having more children and starting families and, you know, honoring their husbands and their kids and dedicating their lives to this mission, not all women can get pregnant on their own or can have a healthy pregnancy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they're literally trying to have a baby. They're trying to live the Harrison Butker lifestyle. They're trying to get a baby. They're trying to do all of this. And again, do what women want to do. And he said, no.
Yeah.
You must have a baby, but you have to do it the natural way. You can't have any birth control. You can't choose when you have the baby, how many babies you have. If you want to have 15 babies, if that's how many God wants you to have, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind that this large number of babies that you can never, you know, use birth control against, maybe just having 1, 2, or 3 kids, you must also stay home with them. You must be making the home. Where's all this money coming from? Who's supporting all of these kids at any time? Like, you can't, there's no, like, you can't family plan.
Yeah.
You can't, like, it is so out of touch and just spoken from someone who has so much privilege and such a specific viewpoint of just saying that people should just have as many children as possible or as many as God will give them at any time.
Yeah.
And like, this is your only way to find purpose. But if you need a surrogate or you need to go through IVF, don't bother. You're already, you're not, there's no saving you at this point.
It almost seems like he's looking down on anybody who doesn't have a baby the natural way, which is like really unfortunate because there are a lot of women that have issues and like, again, like that's their only option. So this was surprising. And then like to go back and put it into context again, a commencement speech. That's where this is at. Like if I even heard those words in a commencement speech, I would walk out. I'm sorry. Like
walk right out.
This is not for me, and this is not the time and place for me to get lectured by somebody. And like, I don't know. This is just going back on the privilege thing. Like, you have no idea what people have to go through to have exactly what you want. Like they're trying to get there, but it's different for everybody. And so this was very distasteful on his part. And again, like too many heated topics all at a commencement speech.
It's a professional kicker at a commencement speech.
Yeah.
Like he should
tell
be
me
like,
about football. Tell me about how you kick them balls.
Exactly. I want like Gronk up there with the low IQ everyone talks about, just being like, like very fun day, go kick footballs. Like it's so absolutely insane. And just like for all the people that are saying, like standing up for him and saying, all he's saying is that, family is important and it's important to start a family and find someone who loves you and take care of your children. Like, obviously that is all good and great, but that is not what he said.
Yeah.
That's just not it. If you're saying that, then you miss the context. You miss every other thing that he said because it's just so out there, so like mean, so privileged, so not understanding.
Yeah.
To a group full of 22-year-old men and women who are maybe had just gotten their first jobs, maybe still applying for jobs, probably are scared to enter the real world and live on their own and start making their own money. And instead of building them up and letting them know that this is such an exciting time in their lives, you can do anything and you really should believe in yourself, he's taking it upon himself to talk about his own personal, very, very, very specific, hateful viewpoints.
Yeah. And don't forget, the nuns didn't like this.
That's
all I have to say about it.
The nuns didn't like it.
The nuns
sisters
have spoken. To say all of that, for all of that to happen, and then just for the nuns to say, nah, we don't believe in that. No, that's what kind of makes this all worth it at the end of the day. And hopefully he learns from this. He probably won't, because again, like he says multiple times throughout his speech, like to really like lean into who he is and like to stay in his lane and to use his platform. So like he's standing by his values. I get that, but I'm really hoping we don't see Harrison Butker and commencement speech at another university anytime soon. But maybe this opens the door for him.
Stop. He's like, this is my portfolio. Look what I can do. I'm sure no one was talking about Benedictine University before this. I wonder if enrollment's up. It's absolutely insane. I really hope that this is not an uptick in Harrison Butker's career in commencement speeches. Stick with the kicking.
Stick with the NFL.
Stick with the nonverbal jobs.
Stay in your lane.
Stay
as you
in
like
your
to
lane,
say.
Harrison Butlicker.
Oh, never forget. Never forget.
Never forget Elizabeth Butker's son, Isabel Butker's husband, Charlotte Butker's brother, and that's all we have.
That's all we have for today.
I'm sure there's so much more we could have said, but we just couldn't take it.
Something needed to be said. And for all the women out there, be whoever you want to be.
We love you, fumblers.
Peace out.
Bye.